I think one of the duties of in-house counsel is to make sure that you're identifying for your client, the company you work for, the different risks that could come up and what they should be preparing for those risks. All businesses take on risk, but it's kind of the in-house counsel's duty to make sure that we identify those risks and help them mitigate them as much as possible, with the understanding that businesses need to take risks to make money, but they also need to prepare for a crisis that could come. And that could be natural disaster type of crisis. It could be an employment type of crisis like coronavirus that we're dealing with today, or it could be more in line of anti-corruption or that type of crisis that could come and affect the company. But if you prepare for those crises ahead of time, then the mitigation that you can do during the crisis is much better and easier. Yeah, I mean, during the crisis, it's going to be all hands on deck, and your role there is really identifying how to properly mitigate the crisis at hand, and what types of legal things can you do to help them, whether that's a specialized outside counsel in managing that process, or whether it's something you can do in-house. It's identifying it and taking that on as a responsibility. A lot of times when a crisis comes up, there's a lot of panic and worry about what could happen. I think the best thing that an in-house counsel can do is identify those specific things and help them to manage that so that they can feel more confident about facing the crisis and moving forward. You don't want to downplay what's happening, but you definitely want to point out, here's the issues we're dealing with and here's how you can deal with it. So providing a gameplay for them is good. And the in-house counsel isn't always the one in the lead, but they're always the one that can provide the structure for the problem. At First Law International and at Citus both, I've dealt with crisis, and it's really helpful to the company to be the one that can just identify the issues very clearly and provide a path forward so that everyone knows what direction they need to go. And that really helps mitigate the problem. Yeah, I think it's really important for you to identify who's all involved. And a lot of times in a large organization, you may have different entities as well. So you need to identify which entities are involved and which people are involved, whether that's C-suite people or sales management or engineer or whatever it is you're dealing with. And just identify them and make sure that they're part of the process. A lot of times the legal department is seen as the group that slows the process down. And so if you really want to show your value and be effective in your job, you want to be seen as the guy that resolves problems and that they can come to help them get past the barriers that they're faced with. And when you can establish that type of relationship with your stakeholders, then you will be seen as a valuable team member of those stakeholders. In my role, I always identify who those people are. I make sure that they understand that I'm there to provide support to them to make their jobs easier and to help them get to the finish line within the parameters that the company has set for them so that they can be successful. So some ways that you can do that is make sure that maybe you invite them to meetings that you're having as part of the legal department. Maybe you can provide content for them in negotiation skills or contracting skills that they would need to be successful, so that they see you as a person that provides value. Sometimes it's just as simple as taking the stakeholders out to lunch or being a part of your department's activities. And that helps them see that you're a part of the team as opposed to the legal department over there that always is stopping the deal, which is a lot of times what they think. So I think there's a lot of things that you can do. And if you're managing other attorneys, I think it's important for you to mentor them through that process, because attorneys feel like a lot of times like they have to be the one that points out all the risks and does all that. But helping them understand that businesses need to take risks, and so it's our job to make sure that they know what those risks are and that you mitigate it as much as possible, but that you still allow them to do that so that they can be successful. And when you're seen as part of that team, you will be an invaluable player, and they'll love you for it.